What qualifications do you need to become a UI designer? By Exemplary Marketing. User interface design is an exciting, challenging, and financially rewarding career path, and today's business landscape is bursting with opportunity. With design-led companies significantly outperforming their competitors, design has become absolutely crucial to business success. As more and more companies realize this, the demand for talented UI designers will only grow. In the current market, UI designers earn an average base salary of $81,700, but for many UI designers, the real reward lies in shaping the user experience and being part of the brand's success story. Before pursuing a career in UI design, it's important to know exactly what the role entails, as well as what skills you'll need in order to be successful. In this video, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know about becoming a UI designer. 1. What does a UI designer do? The UI designer is responsible for the user's visual and interactive experience with a product interface, be it an app or a website. As the user navigates their way through an app, for example, they'll swipe, scroll, and tap various buttons in order to move between different screens. All of these touch points are created by the UI designer. Whilst UI design is a very creative role, there is much more to it besides just designing the interface itself. First, the UI designer will spend lots of time getting to know the client and their brand, as well as the target user for whom they are designing. There's plenty of research to be done before the creative work can even begin. You'll also collaborate very closely with the UX designer throughout this process. You can find out what a UI designer does in more detail in a popular post that I wrote a few months back, but the role primarily consists of working together with the client and UX designer to establish a common vision, researching your target audience and getting to know the user personas, designing screens, buttons, scroll bars, and other navigational elements, prototyping and testing, liaising with developers to ensure correct implementation. 2. How do I know if a career in UI design is right for me? To help you determine whether or not this is a job for you, let's take a look at what makes a great UI designer. It goes without saying that a flair for design is a must. UI designers have an eye for color, spacing, patterns, and typography, but not just from an aesthetic point of view. It's crucial to design functional interfaces that not only look good, but also feel effortless and intuitive so that you need to understand how each individual element impacts the overall user experience. This brings us to user empathy. The best UI designers are able to see things from the user's perspective, anticipating their needs and expectations when interacting with the product. If you find it easy to step into someone else's shoes and understand where they're coming from and their point of view, you're already halfway there. Excellent communication skills are also key. From clients to UX designers and developers, you'll be working with others throughout the process, so an ability to articulate and discuss your ideas is essential. At the same time, UI designers are not afraid to get technical, especially when it comes to things like wireframing, communicating with developers, and getting to grips with responsive design. A good UI designer has their eyes open at all times. They excel at problem solving and obsess over every little detail. You should always be on the lookout for great solutions, not just visually, but also in terms of what works well technically and evokes positive feelings for the user. Be aware of how technology is evolving, but be wary of trends for trend's sake. Ultimately, you need to understand your target audience and the needs of the brand or company that you're working for. 3. Do I need a certification or formal qualification to become a UI designer? To start a career in UI design, you don't need to follow a particular course of study. A background in graphic design can be useful, but in theory, anyone can learn the necessary skills. So what are they? When hiring a UI designer, employers will want to see that you've mastered the following: interaction design principles, branding, typography, and color theory, wireframing and prototyping, style guides, user research and personas, teamwork and communication skills, key industry tools including Sketch. More often than not, employers will be more interested in your portfolio than your formal qualifications. As long as you can demonstrate your understanding of core UI design principles, there is nothing to stop you marketing yourself as a UI designer. 4. How do I get started in UI design? If you like the sound of a career in UI design, there is plenty that you can do to get the ball rolling. Start by familiarizing yourself with the industry. Read up on current UI trends and see what other designers are up to. Sites like UI Parade and UI Movement are fantastic for inspiration and examples. How much will I earn as a UI designer? There are many factors to consider when you're changing careers, such as what skills you need and what kinds of tasks are going to be involved. Then, of course, there's the question of money. In a survey carried out by Career Zoo, salary was ranked as the most influential factor when considering a new job. If you're thinking about a career in UI design, you'll naturally want to gauge your earning potential. However, before we start talking figures, it's important to note that your salary will of course vary depending on location, how much experience you have, and whether you work in-house or freelance. With that in mind, let's take a look at how much you could earn as a user interface designer. UI designer salaries around the world. To give you an idea of your earning potential, we've done some research into the average UI designer salaries in various parts of the world using data provided by Glassdoor, Indeed, and PayScale. For ease of comparison, we've listed these averages in both the local currency and in US dollars, updated in 2020. Australia, 83,000 or 57,000 US. Canada, 69,000 or 52,000 US. Germany, 77,000 or 85,000 US. India, 15,000 US. UK, 44,000 or 57,000, and USA is 76,000. And this is just a snapshot. Exact salary information is somewhat hard to come by within the industry, and your actual salary may fall below or above these figures depending on what stage you're at in your career and the exact skills that you bring to the table. However, this serves as a great benchmark, especially if you're new to the field. How to handle your first salary negotiation. So, you're applying to your first UI design job, or perhaps you've already got an interview. With little to no experience in the UI job market, you're not sure where to pitch your salary expectations. This is a common conundrum in any industry, but fear not. With a bit of research, you can come prepared with a ballpark figure in mind. Sites like Glassdoor and PayScale can help you to suss out your worth in your chosen industry. If you're interviewing for a specific position, such as junior UI designer, research the job title based on your location. You can see what other people with this job title earn, and together with your salary snapshot, start to gauge what a reasonable figure might be. So thanks for watching. If you learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching. See you soon.